Hello everyone, welcome to Clickly. Today we are going to learn about ability production. Ability is an essential part of the game. How is the Q ability of Rem made? First, let's take a look at the three main stages of casting an ability. Ability precast starts, ability precast ends, and ability ends. When a unit casts an ability, it will have a cast action, which is called ability precast starts. Generally, in this stage, the animation of unit cast action will be played, such as the magician lifting the wand. The cast process is the main body of the ability. That is, the stage of the ability precast ends. The last one is ability ends, which mean the cast ends. Some characters may have an ending pose. Step 1. Trigger components. First, place some neutral hostile monster units on the map. Then create a new custom ability, name it Electric Shock, and add some description for it. We can edit the attributes for the ability in Object Editor. In Fixed Attributes, Basic Attributes, Keep Turn Checked. Check Cast immediately when out of range, and check all the others. Then, in Indicator, choose Circle Indicator as the indicator type. You can set the circle radius as you like. We set it to be 300. We also need to create a custom electric projectile thunder as the cast effect of the ability. Lastly, in Object Editor, Units, find our hero, Rem, and add Electric Shock for her as the common ability. Step 2. Edit the trigger. The ability is called Electric Shock and has two parts. Ability precast starts and ability precast ends. In the stage of ability precast starts, the cast action should be played. Ability precast ends is the main body of the ability. In this stage, we need to create a projectile of thunder effect at the location of the ability. Next, we transverse the unit group to perform the action. Take the ability cast point as center. All the units within the radius of 300 will perform the triggered action. Then, use if statements to determine whether the transverse units and the ability owner are hostile. Deal damage to the units if the condition is met. The damage value is calculated according to the distance of the transverse units from the center of the thunder. We also set it to display the damage values in the game. If the condition is not met, no action will be performed. Next, let's see how to make the trigger in Clickly. We can edit the trigger's abilities in Object Editor. Select Electric Shock, click on Triggers and add a new trigger and rename it to Stage 1. Event of Stage 1 is Ability Precast Starts. The corresponding action is Play Unit Animation. Select Unit, Animation, Play Unit Animation. The unit is Ability Owner. In String, we enter Attack 1. The rate is 1 from 0 seconds to minus seconds. The minus seconds here means playing the action to the end. What is playing action Attack 1 in this command? Attack 1 refers to building attack actions of the units. Open the Resource Management. Choose a random unit. We can see Display Animation here. Drop down and select Attack 1 to see what the action of the current character Attack 1 looks like. Add the second trigger. Rename it to Stage 2. The event is Ability Precast Ends. In action, create the projectile thunder at the selected location for the current ability. Add the second action. Select unit group and transverse unit group units to perform action. Use function all units in filter range to filter all the units in the selected location for current ability. Select circle for the range and set the radius to be 300. Now, add an action of if condition to determine factions and deal damage. Use if condition to determine whether the units are hostile. That is, the unit select when transversing units is the enemy of the ability owner. When the conditions met, the if-then action list will be performed. In if-then action list, we need to create a local variable distance of the type float to get distance from the selected location for current ability to the location point for the unit selected when transversing units. We also need to create a local variable, d_value, of type float to get and store the damage value. We use the function of mathematical operations between real numbers to calculate 100 times 1 minus distance divided by 300 and get the actual damage value. This formula calculates the modified damage. The center damage is 100 points, and then linearly decays to 0. Then we deal magical damage with the value of d_value to units selected when transversing units, with combat text to show the damage value. The damage is affiliated with the ability owner and the current ability. Lastly, the if-else action list means that the transverse units are allies or friendly units. So, the ability damage will not be caused and no actions are needed here. So far, all the triggers are finished. Let's enter the game and test the effect. What do you think? Did you get it? Now it's time to review what we have learned today. There are 3 main stages of casting an ability. Ability precast starts, ability precast ends, and ability ends. Components required for making a group ability. Neutral hostile monster units. Custom projectiles. A custom ability created in an object editor as the common ability of the cast unit. Logic of making the ability. Select units within a certain range of the cast point as the unit group and transverse. Determine whether the transverse units and the ability owner are hostile. Deal damage to the transverse units. Next class, we will learn about UI Editor. See you next time!